Okay, so hello and welcome to this live webinar. Um, yeah, the session will not be on YouTube. I already uploaded the Arabic version of it on YouTube. The English version will be sent to your emails after we finish. Yeah, so welcome to this live webinar in which I will go through like a detailed roadmap for LLMs or large language models. It starts from absolute beginner to a little bit advanced level. It's composed or it consists of four main parts. The first one is the LLM Basics and Architecture. Second part is building and training LLM from scratch. The third part is like building LLM applications in production here. And fourth part is to build your own LLM portfolio or build your LLM project. Each one consists, like the first part consists only on one section. The second part, I think, consists of 7 sections. The third part consists of 8 sections, and the last one consists of 2 main sections. I will go briefly through each one of them. The main goal of this session is that you have a better view or a better overview of the LLM main skills and the landscape of it. What are the skills you need, depending on what are your career goals and so on. And I will introduce you to some of the resources that you can use for each section. Of course, as I mentioned, you will receive, I think, 80 or 90% discount on this roadmap after we finish through the email. And as I mentioned also, if you are not able to pay, just send me a message and I will send it to you for free. Yeah, I understand that's all. If you have any question, just open your mic and let's discuss it. We are only 11, I think, so we have time to discuss and have a discussion on and answer your questions. So, like the first part, here is the roadmap itself, as you can see it. So the first part, we have two main goals of it, which is understand the LLM architecture and understand the LLM basics. And my recommendation here is can have 3 main resources or 3 main type of resources. We have articles, we have YouTube videos, and we have courses. The main goal of this stage is just to have a wide overview of different topics of LLMs. What are the famous open source and closed source models, how they work, what are the main components, what is tokenizers, what is attention model, the different decoding strategies, how ChatGPT was built, how to build your own, and so on. So basically, it will give you an overview of the LLM landscape itself and the main topic of it, what is RLHF, reinforcement learning from human feedback, or what are the main algorithms in it, and so on. So this is like the main goal of this stage. There is no need to go through all of these resources. This is like a general general for all the different the common sections. I add more resources. So if you are more reading person or you understand more from reading, so you can find books. If you are more tutorial person, you can find courses. If you are more like YouTube person, you can find some YouTube videos and so on. So there are different resources that cover the same topic. So there's no need to go through all of them. But that's like for the sake um, of better resources and of better availability for different type of resources. Um, can we have this support later? Yes, as I mentioned, Mahdi, I will send a discount for it. So this is the price of this plan. I think is $10. I will send the discount coupon for I think 90%. So you can just buy it for $1. And if you are not able to pay, just send me a message on email or on LinkedIn and you will get it for free. So here, as I mentioned, the main outcome of this is first to understand transformers, what are the main components of it, how attention algorithm work, and then to understand the LLM models landscape, starting from like transformer build and going through till GPT 3. What are the different type of model, the encoder, decoder, decoder only, and so on. So here we have here we have like 4 articles: the Accelerated Transformer by J. Ammar, the Accelerated GP2 by J. Ammar, if you'd like to understand the mechanism of transformers and how they work in a visual manner. We have the attention. Also, this is a very good blog to understand how attention work. The decoding strategies also to understand different decoding strategies that are working in the decoder-based models. For the YouTube videos, we have Let's Build GPT Tokenizer by Andrew Karpathy to understand how Tokenizer is working, and the GPT Tokenizer, you will build it from scratch. This will be a very good way if you'd like to understand what is Tokenizer and how they work and how they are trained and so on. NanoGPT also is a very famous video by Andrew Karpathy, where he built a small model or a small version of GPT. Introduction to LLMs, this is also by Andrew Karpathy, and Visual Intro to Transformers by C. Blue Brown. So yeah, basically you can choose first understanding transformer in a visual manner. You have some articles here and you have this video. You can understand after that the tokenizer and how it's work. You can take this video, and after that you can maybe take the NanoGPT, for example. If you want more structured course, here are some courses that can work very good as an introduction to LLMs. You have the generative AI with LLMs from Coursera. This also is a very good one. It covers like introduction to LLMs, fine-tuning, the different techniques for fine-tuning LLM, and there will be some I think there will be a section on reinforcement learning from human feedback. You have also advanced LLM application building. This one is very good for putting LLM to production as introduction. This is, I think, a live course. You have the full stack LLM bootcamp. This is also a very good introduction to LLMs, covering the topics of LLM, like fine tuning, how LLM works, and so on. The basic of transformers and so on. Also here, so most of them cover the same topics, but yeah, as I mentioned, usually for each section there will be like 2 or 3 resources, so that you can find the most suitable one for you, whether it's free or paid, whether it's on a certain platform that you like, and so on. So as I mentioned, so the goal of this first stage is to build the fundamentals of LLM and have like an overview of the LLM landscape, and understand the main concepts and the main titles in LLMs. What is fine tuning? What is reinforcement learning from human feedback? What is instruction based fine tuning? And what is prompt engineering, and so on. You'll get an idea about all of that, so that you can, if you just want to take an idea about LLMs, I think this section will be enough for you. Just to know what is going on, what is LLM, how it was trained, what are the different available models, and so on. If just your goal is to get an idea about LLMs and how they work, this will be enough for you. The first section, no need to invest more time. If you need to understand more the theoretical basics and how to fine-tune LLM model and how to evaluate it and quantize, like do some quantization and understand the reinforcement learning from human feedback and so on. Basically understand the theory behind LLM. So we should go to the second one, which we will go through now, second section. So the basics, or the main goal of the second section, is to understand how we can build or how LLM were built and are trained and fine-tuned from scratch. What are the different steps we go through, starting from building the datasets, the fine-tuning of LLM, evaluating LLMs, the LLM different techniques for or different techniques to quantize, do LLM quantization, the LLM alignment and reinforcement from learning from human feedback, and finally some resources to stay updated with the LLM research news and industry news. So let's start with the first step, which is preparing the dataset for to train the LLM. We have first the different dataset hubs, where you can find the huge datasets where you can train LLMs with. So here are some resources for it. The first is the dataset hub. You can find the LLM data hub. This is like a GitHub repo where you can find different datasets with description and so on. We have also the how this is a blog how to use, or a YouTube video how to use Hugging Face dataset, how to deal with datasets section in Hugging Face, and finally open source training dataset for LLMs is also an article where it gathers open source training datasets that can be used to train LLMs. The second step is how to build an instruction dataset. So one of the famous techniques to train LLM to follow your instruction is to have a dataset that is formed or it's put in the form of instructions, so the model can follow, whether it's for summarization, whether it's for translation, and so on. So you should have the data in a certain form. You have to prepare it and pre-process it into certain forms, so the model can be trained to follow the instruction and do as you would like. So here also we have some resources that can help you to do this, starting from how to fine tune an LLM. Part one, this is a series of blogs which also talk about how to fine tune LLM, and start with preparing datasets for instruction tuning. Also, this is a practical blog where the writer mentioned how he created an instruction datasets using GPT 3.5 to fine tune Llama 2 for news classification. Also, this is another blog which is dataset creation for LLM fine tuning. And finally, this also a blog on how to generate instruction datasets from any documents to LLM fine tuning. So if you have a set of documents and you would like to get data out of it, and use this data to instruction fine tuning your LLM, this also would be a good article. And the third part is dataset preparing and processing. So how to take the raw data and pre-process it and make it ready to train the LLM, how to remove, like for example, removing the duplicates, extracting the data from image, text, and so on, and presenting all sorts of unstructured data. So we have here two resources also. The first one is how to, I think it's an article, how to build an effective data collection and processing strategy for LLM. What are the different strategies for collection and processing of LLMs? Second one is pre-processing of unstructured data for LLM application. This is a course by deeplearning.ai, in which you will be exposed to unstructured, which is a tool that can be used to extract data from PowerPoints, from tables, from images, and so on, that can be used and processed to train or fine tune your LLM application. The second step is to fine tune your LLM. Usually, people don't train LLM from scratch like the normal user. This is require a lot of computation power, so we will focus more on the fine tuning of LLM. So we start, or the guide start with an introduction to LLM fine tuning. What is LLM fine tuning? What are the different techniques for it? So we have here the Voice LLM training guide. This is a very good blog. We have fine tuning LLM overview method and best practices. And also this is fine tuning LLM. As I mentioned, there is no need to go through the whole resources. You can just take one, because all of them will have the same goal, which introduces you to the fine tuning, what are the different techniques and so on, and different techniques and strategies for it. The second subsection is the parameter efficient fine tuning, which is a famous technique to fine tune the LLM with low computation power and low memory requirement, and there is a lot of sub techniques under it. So here you can find a lot of them. First, starting with a guide to parameter efficient fine tuning. Then you can have the key LoRa paper, and you can find how to fine tune LLM on single GPU. This is like a step-by-step guide. You have the LoRa fine tuning and hyperparameter explained if you want to understand the LoRa and what are the different parameters and configurations that you can have for it. Then you can apply with the fine tuning Mistral 7B with LoRa, and you can find a lot of blogs with the same manner, where you can take an open source LLM and start fine tuning it using one of these parameter efficient fine tuning. You can do it with Colab even, but there will be some limitation on the number of steps that you can do and the number of epochs. With Colab Pro, you will have more capability, but if you want just to try it yourself, you can maybe have it for a small number of steps. But if you want something to work in practice, you need to have like more computation power than the one that Colab the free collab gave, or maybe Kaggle. And here also is fine-tuning LLM with LoRa and Clora, insights from hundreds of experience. This one is very, very good article. It's, I think, written by Sebastian Rakasha on Lightning AI. He has trained a lot of experiments, or he had a lot of experiments, so he will give you some insights from it, what are the best parameters to use, what are the best arguments to use, and so on, how to start, and tips and tricks on make the fine-tuning or the parameter efficient fine-tuning process more efficient. The third step we have is the LLM instruction tuning, how to fine-tune your LLM with instruction to follow your instruction. I think this will be like similar to before, just you have to deal with the data in a certain way. So just I found it only one blog will be enough to go through, because you already have covered most of the topics before. Yeah, and finally, LLM fine-tuning in practice. So here is, if you want to put these skills into practice, you will have a beginner guide to LLM fine-tuning, fine-tuning your own Llama L2, and you can find, I think, similar blogs for Llama 3, model in Collab. And here is like a collection of 14 LLM notebooks where you fine-tune different open source LLMs with different techniques, and we'll go through them now. So here are the 14 LLM fine-tuning projects. The first one, fine-tuning LLM with LoRa and Hugging Face. I'll just go through them in a fast way. Fine-tuning LLM2 model in Collab. So if you go through any of them, you can find here a Collab notebook, which you can just start running and go through it with a small yeah, like here. So you can just start to go through the code, play with parameters, and see what is going on, and so on. So for each of these project we will go through, you can find the Collab notebook for it, and you can go through it. And I think if you finish the 14 notebook, and you can try the new models. For example, here we have fine-tuning Llama 2, can do Llama 3, and you can do it with different data and so on. You get a very, very good hands-on experience on fine-tuning LLM. As I mentioned, here is fine-tuning Llama 2 model in Collab. Here we have the parameter efficient fine-tune Bloom LLM. Here we have fine-tuning Meta with also parameter efficient fine-tuning. Here we have fine-tuning Falcon with also, I think, with parameter efficient fine-tuning with LoRa here and self-supervised training. We have here also Llama 2 with LoRa. And the same, yeah. So here are different techniques and different open source models that you can work on. You can go through all of them, Mistral also. And yes, the next step after you fine-tune your model is to evaluate the model. So to do this, you have first to have an overview of LLM evaluation methods. So this section cover it. We have different sources like in understanding LLM evaluation and benchmarks, a complete guide, decoding LLM performance, a guide to evaluating LLM application, a survey on evaluating of LLMs, evaluating and debugging generative AI. This course use this one use Wait and Biases platform, which is also I think a very good one to evaluate LLM and debug your generative AI project. And after that, if you want to understand also more about the benchmarking that is used in LLM, what are the different methods for LLMs and so on, you can find them here. This is like a guide to LLM benchmark, but what does it mean and how LLMs are evaluated here. And finally, we have the LLM evaluation methods, like the Blue, the Rogue method, the human evaluation, and so on. You can understand them. So you can also evaluate your LLM and understand other LLMs, how they are evaluated, and understand the LLM leaderboard. You can find like different benchmarks and what each LLM has achieved on it, so you can have a better idea of what is going on. Also, if you are working on a chatbot, here is some resources to evaluate your chatbot. And also the same if you are working on evaluating RAG application, here also is a project for evaluating advanced drug application. What are the different techniques for it? And finally, automated testing for LLMs. This is like more part of LLM ops, how to have an automated testing for LLMs. So this course also is a very good. It's I think from deep learning to TI. It's mentioned. It's focused on how we can make automation testing for LLMs. And here also is a very hot topic of LLM, which is LLM quantization. Since we already, it's difficult to train LLM and fine tune LLM as it needs some high computational power and high memory storage during training. So researchers had came with this idea of quantization, where they use like a small precision of the LLM, store it, and so they can save memory and save computational power by this. So here we start with introduction to quantization, the first part with what is quantization and what are the different techniques for it. This is, as I mentioned, is a very hot topic, so you will find a lot of um, resources for it. So here are some. I think any of them will work to give you an introduction to LLM quantization. And then we will go through the first method, which is GGUF. This is a quantization technique. And after that, you can go also through the AWQ quantization technique, the activation aware with quantization, how they work and so on. The PTQ, the post-training model quantization. Also, we have the GPTQ. Yeah, and so on. There's no need to go through all of them. You can focus maybe on the first section, which is the introduction to LLM quantization, and depending on your project, you can explore any of them. But I think this will be enough unless you need to go deep in one of them um, to understand the theory behind it and how to use it and so on. But rather than that, you can just use the package and the library for it and start trying different methods. But as long as you don't need to understand the theory behind a certain quantization technique, there's no need to go through this part. Yeah, here we have the section number 6, which is the reinforcement learning from human feedback, or LLM alignment, to align the LLM results uh, with human cognitive and human thinking. We use the reinforcement learning from human feedback, where we have the human feedback in the loop, and it's an overlap between reinforcement learning techniques and LLM training. So here we have some important blogs about the role of RLHF in training ChatGPT and how it works. This one is very good one by Chip Hyun. But yeah, they cover the different techniques for the reinforcement learning from human feedback, how they work and how they will use to train ChatGPT. And also this one we'll go through how to train Llama model Llama 1. You can apply it, I think, for Llama 3 with reinforcement learning from human feedback by Hugging Face. And here is, if you want to read the papers, especially the one from OpenAI, here are some papers that are focusing, if you would like to understand the theory behind the RLHF, but it's very difficult, to be honest. It has a lot of mathematics behind it. But yeah, if you would like to focus more on the theory behind it, you can go through this. And the last section is to stay updated with LLM research and industry news. This is generative AI in general, and also the LLMs topic are a very active area of research, and also in the industry. A lot of companies are in competition to enhance the models and make it smaller now, make it more general, can work in different situations, have a better cognitive power, and so on. So there is always every day or every weeks a lot of news coming out. So if you'd like to stay updated with what is happening, both in research and industry, here are a set of resources that you can follow. We have the LLM research leaders that you can follow. Yanli Kuhn, he is the chief AI scientist at Meta. He was responsible for, or he was supervising the teams that are working on Meta, that are working for the different vision products that they have been working on, and so on. So if you would like to follow up his research, you can follow him on Twitter, for example. He's very active there. We have also Andrew Karpathy. He's now focusing more on creating educational content. So yeah, you can follow him for sure. We have Sebastian Rakash also. He's working, I think, at Lightning AI, and he's very active with his newsletter and books. So also you can stay updated with, especially with LLM fine tuning. We have also some of the industry leaders like Andrew. We have Gmeis, he is the founder of and CEO of DeepMind, of course. Thomas Wolf, he's the founder of Hugging Face. Sam Altman, of course, is the founder of OpenAI. You have Abu Bakr Abedi, he is also the founder of Gladio, which is now part of Hugging Face. We have Jial Ammar, he is also a chief AI scientist in Cohere AI. Also, you can follow some of the research and industry organization like NeuroIPS to see the paper and see the conference dates and so on. You can follow also the papers that are being published there. Usually, they are top-notch paper that you can follow. Of course, they mind to follow the project that the Google are working on right now. And Meta AI also, Hugging Face, OpenAI, yeah, just to stay up with what's happening in the industry of AI and generative AI. Also, here are some of the LLM influencer and content creators that always share a very good tips and tricks for training LLMs and LLM news and so on. We have Omar, he is part of Hugging Face. He's very active on Twitter, especially the related to training and hosting LLMs and so on. We have also Ron Paul. He also shares a lot of tips about LLM and generative AI on Twitter, especially. We have also one, he's part of the Rundown AI newsletter, one of the most popular AI newsletters. And also he shares a lot of news of generative AI, especially the ones that is related to industry. We have EK, he's also machine learning. He or she, I'm not sure what is the gender of it of him. But yeah, EK is a machine learning engineer at Guardio. He's very well known for publishing and summarizing papers related to generative AI, and he's now responsible for the daily paper by Hugging Face. Yeah, and the list goes on more and more for some influencers that you can maybe follow on Twitter or on LinkedIn. It will be very beneficial to you on a daily basis just to go through the LLM news and what's happening, what is new, some of the packages or the open source projects that can be helpful in training and putting LLM into production and so on. Also, here is some of the newsletter and blogs. This is my newsletter. This is the AI Edge newsletter, also is a very good one. Ahead of AI, this is by Sebastian Rakasha, also is a very good one, and so on. I'll just will not go through them in details, but you can find it in the map. But yeah, in general, this is, I think, if you can just have a dedicated time, maybe 30 minutes per day or maybe 1 or 2 hours per week, just to go through the news, what's happening. Try to fill your feed with this the people that I mentioned, the industry leaders, the research leaders, the influencer, and so on. And you can just find them in your feed, and you will see after maybe 1 or 2 months that you're already familiar with what is going on. You already have been following the news and so on, so you'll not have the feeling of that uh, um, you are not able to cope up with the news and what is happening, because yeah, of course, this will not be enough to take all the knowledge, but it's still good just not to have the feeling that you are left back and you are not able to cope up with what is happening in both industry and research. So yeah, just to conclude, section 2 is more important if you are or if you have more interest in training LLM and fine-tuning LLM and make it can fit your memory and have, if you have low resources, And you can also understand how LLM is trained, how it is evaluated, how the data is prepared, and so on. But if your goal is to work more with the closed models or the API of the models without need to train or fine-tune LLM, I think this section will be more, the third section that we will go through now, will be more important to you, which is building production level LLM applications, because the second one prepares a model, but it's not enough to put it into production and build the application around it. The third step is more important for this. So it depends on what is going, or what are you working on. If you are working more as a machine learning engineer, where your work will be more taking the model and put it into a production environment and so on, there will be no need to fine tune the model. Uh, just you can take the introduction from each part here just to have an understanding of what is going on, or you can find the first part enough for you. And you can jump directly to the third part, which I think is more important for engineers and for building projects. The third part starts with the prompt engineering, the vector database and vector storage, the RAG and run LLM locally, deploying LLMs, LLM inference optimization, LLM operation or LLM ops, and finally securing LLMs. So let's start with the first one. Prompt engineering, of course, is a very hot topic in LLMs. It's how you can give LLM prompt for your instruction and take a certain output out of it. So there's some techniques that can, and some guidelines and best practices that you can follow to get out or to make the LLM follow your command and make the task as you wish. So here are some of the resources that you can use for this. We have first the awesome GPT prompt engineering GitHub repository. This one is a very famous GitHub repository. You can find different prompt for different tasks. As you can see here, the papers on this topic, the books, prompt collection, techniques, guides, and so on. So you can find most of what you need here. We have also prompt engineering guide. This is also very famous. I think this is one of the most famous guides on prompt engineering. And this is the course for it, the prompt engineering for LLMs by Elvis. So he created this guide and also he is giving this course. And here we have also a guide to prompt engineering. And finally, if you just prefer to take courses, you can take these two courses. Yeah, there's another one. So here we have the ChatGPT prompt engineering for developers. And there is another one which is building products with OpenAI, I think also from deep learning.ai. Both of them can be very helpful to understand how to write a good prompt, how to write prompt for summarization, for inferring, for transforming text, for expanding, for translation, and so on. What are the techniques or the best practices for this, and so on. And of course, like all of this will be enhanced or will be improved by practice and by building projects, which will be the last section we will cover. But yeah, I think it's better just to maybe have a course or something just to get the idea out of it and to have some of the concepts and the basics of this topic. The second section is the vector database and vector storage. This also is a very important part, especially if you build the RAG application after that, because this is a fundamental component of any RAG application, is how to get or to build a vector database out of your data and store it. So here is like vector data. The first course is vector database from embedding to application. This course is short course from deep learning.ai with the collaboration with it, which is one of the leaders in or one of the leading vector database storage systems. This is a free course, and also here we have a building application with vector database, the same, also from deep learning.ai, but here this time is in collaboration with Binecoin, which also one of the leaders in this area also. If you need to have like a more an overview of the different vector database we have and comparison between it and between the normal database, and so on. This is a very good article by Muaz Ali on DataCamp, which is do a comparison between the different vector database and what are the top and comparison between them and so on. And finally, for creating embeddings out of your text and store it in vector database, you can check also the rank chain text splitters, the different types of text splitters that you can have and work with from language chain. And here also the same. And this is the MTEB leaderboard, is leaderboard for embedding models. So you can see the different embedding models and choose which one to use. So you can convert your text into embeddings and store it in vector database after that. There's a question which is better to use fine-tuning LLM or RAG if I want to make a smart university advisor chatbot where I have my own database of the user rules and where I may access student data to answer the questions. I think you can start with RAG application, especially if the topic does not need any certain expertise that you need to fine-tune the model on. If it's somehow a general knowledge and you need to extract information after that from the documents you have, you can just start with the RAG application. It will be easier and less expensive, and you can see the performance. And if you don't like it, you can shift it to or you can start fine-tuning the model on your data. But yeah, I think it's easier always to start with RAG application and see after that if you need to fine-tune the model or not. Yeah, the step after that is to build RAG application, which I think is one of the most known topics now in the area of LLMs, because it has a lot of application within. Although now, because a lot of LLMs have a very big context window, some people say there will be no need for it as long as your files is small or as long as your data is small. But if you will use like large data set to extract answer from it, then you will need to understand RAG, how it works, how to optimize it, and so on. But if you are just using small file, you can now feed all of it once to the LLM and he can get the answers out of it. But yeah, anyway, we will start with the retrieval augmented generation, the RAG basics. So here are some of the blogs that you can go through. And after that, some of the advanced RAG techniques. So you can go through this advanced retriever for AI with Chroma, this deep learning.ai course. We have this advanced RAG system by Sam. This is a YouTube series that is focusing on building advanced RAG application. And we will end this with evaluating RAG applications. So what are the metrics for this? And also you can look at this course building building and evaluating RAG application. Also, this is from deep learning.ai. And finally, like building LLM agents is also one of the hot topics or the trending topics now in the industry. So here are some resources that you can use to understand this and build your own LLM agent for certain tasks. Yeah, here also is if you need to build something locally, um, like if you want to test a certain LLM locally and chat with your own files and so on. Here are some tools that you can use for this task. We have the GPT for all. This is, I think, an open source project where you can chat with your own. You can chat with your own files on locally on your machine. You can choose different LLMs, and I think it's updated on a regular basis with the new LLMs. You can choose it and start testing with it and feed it files and start have your own LLM or have your own chatbot locally. And we have also the LLM Studio. It's the same also. You can choose different LLM and start chat with it and so on, and feed it file from locally and start working with it. We have also Ulama is a very popular tool also for running open source LLMs on your computer or on your local machine. Also, we have the llama.cpp. It's also an open source project. It's developed by a lot of developers. Like I think Andrew Karpais also is participating in this, in which they are building the meta llama architecture, but in an efficient way in C and C++, so it can be worked on your local machine. Yeah, here's some description for it. Yeah, the fifth step is deploying LLMs. I think this also is a very hot topic, especially if you will be building something that will go into production and people will use it. You have to deploy LLMs, deploy them into production. So here also we start with the local deployment of LLM. We have the demo deployment. So if you build something and you just want to demo it, use it for a certain number of users, you can use, like for example, Streamlit can build the application, application with Gradio. You can build an LLM application with API endpoint and fast API, and so on. So this is just for deployment. It's not for real production. If you want to build something for real production, you can use um, LLM application with Amazon Bedrock. You can use Hugging Face LLM inference container. This one is very good blog. I think it contains a lot of techniques and a lot of guides on deploying LLMs. So if you like, okay, yeah, you can go through it. It's not a set blog, but it's a dedicated blog for this for LLM deployments. And finally, this is also is one of the most promising and potential topics. One of the topics that have most of the potential now is the edge deployment of LLMs, and it's a hot topic in the industry and also in the research with the small language models now. So they can deploy the models on mobile devices and on edge devices. So also this, if you can learn this, it will give you a lot of advantage in the industry. So here is some of the blogs that cover this, like building LLM to consumer devices, bringing hardware accelerated LLMs to Android devices, TinyChat, LLM model on the edge. So TinyChat, I think, is an organization or a blog that is working on deploying LLM on edge devices. So you can also check their work and their guides. You can go through it and start working on deploying LLMs on small devices and on edge devices. Also here we have the LLM inference optimization to how to optimize the LLM to go into inference with low latency and low cost. So here also we will cover some of the techniques for it in introduction to LLM inference. If you want to get a deep understanding, you can go through this resource. Also LLM inference by Hugging Face. Yeah, and we have also the LLM ops is also is one of the hot topics of LLMs, the operation of it. So it has two main parts: the LLM models itself and the prompt engineering tools. So you can check this blog with from also Chip Hone blog. It's building LLM application for production. Also here is awesome LLM ops. It's like a GitHub repository also with a lot of resources for this, whether it's for the model, for serving, for the security, for the LLM ops itself, and so on. Also, if you prefer to take courses, you can have a look on this short course by Deep Learning AI and Google Cloud on this topic also. Also for automated testing and automated testing for LLM ops, you can also check the course from Circle CI, which is one of leading company in this area. Also, it's short course by Deep Learning.ai. And finally, is securing LLM applications, which also is a very important topic if you would like to put your application into production, because LLM itself has a lot of vulnerabilities, and uh, actually we can see even for ChatGPT and so on that they have stable vulnerabilities that people was sharing, and they start the OpenAI itself was trying to solve this in the new versions of GPTs. Yeah, so here is list of the most 10 critical vulnerabilities seen in LLMs, because this is very important if you build a certain LLM application, not to have harmful response, not to have your API keys leaked, or not to have any private information leaked, and so on. Uh, Here is the blog is how to hack Google powered ChatGPT or other ChatGPT. So it's like an ethical hacking to understand what are the vulnerabilities we have. Prompt injection is one of the techniques that is used to hack LLM models. So this is the guide for avoiding this. We have also the quality and safety for LLM application. This is a short course to understand what are the vulnerabilities and so on. We had the red teaming LLM applications also. This is a course about the vulnerabilities and what are the weak points of LLMs and how to avoid. Here we have also, this is a very, very good blog. It's called LLM Security. It has a comprehensive list of resources and papers, and it's usually updated on these topics. So you can, if you go there, you can find. Let's try to go there. Okay. Yeah. So here, yeah, we have different type of attacks and how to solve it and so on. The defense for it. Yeah, of course, this is advanced. Some of them are very advanced, but you can just maybe read some of it, or just to stay on track. And if you would like to specialize in this area, I think it will have a potential after the LLM application become more popular, and a lot of application will depend on LLMs, and they will start to have some vulnerabilities and hacks on it. You will start like working with LLM security engineers and LLM security specialists. So this will be, I think, will be one of the future positions that we will have. Yeah, the final section we have is building your LLM portfolio, and we have two sections in it. The first one is 10 LLM project ideas, and second one is 10 guided LLM projects. Yeah, for the LLM project ideas, first one we have the content generation. Uh, so yeah, usually LLM is able to generate content, or uh, they can generate content, but they can be very artificial, and we can see that it's very easy to detect that it's generated by AI or by ChatGPT. So one of the projects that you can work on is academic motivation letter generation, where you start maybe collecting um, motivation letter from people that were accepted at top universities, for example, and start fine tuning the LLM on them, so it can be specialized in writing human like motivation letters that can actually work and don't suck. So this is a very good project. We have also the LLM translation and the localization, so you can work it on a certain to translate from English to a certain language, but with a certain accent, or with a local language. This also will be a very good. And I think there is a lot of open source project like this. But the main idea here is you are doing it for learning, not for commercialization, not to go to the market or to have it as a commercial project. It's just for learning, so it's okay if there is anyone has done it before. The main goal is just to learn. Even you can, if they have it as an open source, you can look at it and see how they have done it and start replicating it. So this is totally okay. Also, entertainment and gaming is a very rich area of project. You can character creation. You can fine tune the model on character backstory. There is, I think, let's set on like this on Hugging Face, so the model can create a backstory for gaming character based on the gaming type you're working on. Also for healthcare and well-being application, although this is not the best. Um, it only for education purpose, it's okay, I think, but also for or not for commercial projects or commercial products, but you can like fine tune the model on maybe healthcare Q&A, for example, or um, uh, healthcare books and so on. So you can have healthcare knowledge and can answer health related question and create a medical bot for this. Also for social good, you can build something, a tool that can provide or answer question related to news that is going on right now. So we can also fine tuning it on news articles and so on. Fake news detection, I think this also can be a project. It's a small one, but the point is you can do it for different language. You can do it on different form of data and so on. This is will be like the challenges that you can do, because I think the LLM itself can do it without fine tuning. Yeah, also this one is good. Podcast summarizer. There's a lot for English. You can do it for different language, maybe for Arabic, for example, and you can have it in a real time as a plugin. If you can do this, this would be actually a very good project. It might be like actually you can commercialize this after that. There is already available plugins that can summarize the blogs for you, not blogs, podcast for you, but you can do it for different languages. You can do it for a certain purpose. You can get like a summary, but with insights out of it and so on. Yeah, you can add your touch on these topics. Of course, Q&A from over document. This is like RAG. It's very also famous or very popular project to do, but it's important to do at least one project like this. But the point is try to find a unique idea that you can apply. Okay, and finally the 10 guided LLM projects. First we have building a chatbot with LangChain and LLMs. This is a guided project in which you will connect your ChatGPT 3.5 and Hugging Face to your yeah, it's building like application where the LLM here is GPT 3.5. You can also use any other type of GPT available. Here is YouTube scriptwriter assistant using OpenAI and Streamlit. So here you will build a website or a demo website using Streamlit, and you have OpenAI in the background that can help you to create a script for certain videos. You can have this also in different languages. If you need, you can, if you want to go further step, you can like uh, create or build your own datasets by transcribing YouTube videos. This is just a guided project. It's a small one to show you how to use OpenAI and so on. But if you want to add more more complexity in this project, you can start collecting data from YouTube videos if you'd like to creating scripts like them, and after that fine tune your model, and it will be like a better script writer for you. Yeah, here is a guided project on building also like application, but in a form of web application. So it's web and you upload your files and you start chat with it. And yeah, here you build also a web application for finance using Falcon 40 billion and Hugging Face and Guardio also. So most of the projects here will be using Guardio or Stiblet just for applications. Here also you will build like a banker that can understand in finance using Llama 2, so you will fine tune it. Here also you can find this project, you will have a step-by-step fine tuning Llama 2 using auto-train from Hugging Face. This one is a podcast summarizer using Azure OpenAI, LangChain, and Whisper to convert the speech into text. Here also, if you'd like to work on creating chatbots, medical chatbot using Llama 2, where you'll fine-tune the model on a vid dataset and after that deploy it and so on. Yeah, and the list goes on. So if you want to just having a guided project on different topics, you can find here a list. And of course, there are a lot of YouTube videos and blogs and so on that are working on or have a step-by-step guide on building projects. You can take it as a starting point. And the important point is just don't stop at, because this is just usually 1 or 2 hour projects. It's as good as a starting point, but try to put your own taste or your own touch on the project, especially if you'd like to build like a bachelor graduation project or master thesis project. It's important to have it that has more complexity and has more real application attached to it. Yeah, I think this concludes the roadmap. Yeah, as I mentioned, it's important that you don't, yeah, or it's not important to follow the whole roadmap. You might maybe go only to the first section, maybe the first and the third. It depends on what you are trying to build and what is your goal and what are the skills you need to learn. If you just want to have a very good basics, you can take the introduction section in each of the sections that we have mentioned, or each of the skills that we have mentioned. This will be quite enough. And focusing more on fine-tuning models for different tasks and with different data and so on. This will be very helpful um, to gain the skills. And you can have this roadmap as a reference if you want, or if you want to know more about certain topic instead of going to search to the web. You can here follow and find the resources that you need for a certain topic. Okay, so if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer. What do you think about LangChain framework? Can you consider it as production grade for LLM solution? Yes, although they have the in LangChain architecture or LangChain landscapes, they have some tools for commercialization, but it's paid, not free. But yeah, I didn't try other tools like Llama Index and so on, but I have been working with LangChain for a while, and it's good. The problem is the documentation is not good. Uh, the part that is open source or the LangChain community, some part are still not complete, although they are available to use, but it's not well developed yet. So this is like the problem with LangChain. But yes, it's good for building like applications. It's stable for this task. I didn't try the commercialized part, the paid part, but I think it's really good, especially for debugging and so on. It has a lot of capabilities that can be used. Okay, uh, if you don't have more question, I think we can conclude here. I will send the where we can find the document. Yes, the document can be found here on Gumroad on my own page. I'll send the link here also, and also in an email after the session. You can find it, and as I mentioned, I will send a coupon for it. I can't pay in dollars. Do you have access? If you can pay, just send me a message and I will send it to you. No need to. Yeah, it's no worries. Yeah, just send me a message and I'll send it to you. How can I know that this is what I should know? You know, it's not like way, but I can't understand the question. How can I know that this is what I should do? Yeah, can you elaborate more? I think we can stop the recording here and